Hey everyone, welcome. It's Dr. Nic and Mike Sebastian with Divine Guidance Institute. Never get blindsided again. Hey, brand new 501c3 nonprofit, all about the public crisis of getting blindsided. Our tools and tips are going to help you navigate down here. And that's what it's all about. Today we're going to talk about omens, signs, and synchronicity. We're going to talk about Quiet Place, Day One, the new movie just released this Friday. Huge omen at the front end that portends to the rest of the movie. So cool and covert, we didn't even notice it till halfway through the movie. And then it stood out as big as it could. We're also going to share some stories of signs and helpful tips on how you too can put it to the test. A little quantum physics for you. Yeah, Michael?
Yeah, simple quantum physics. That's a joke. But quantum physics does explain the mechanics of the universe. And in that sense, it definitely gives you a context for signs, synchronicities, omens, kismets, whatever you want to call them. And I know we've all experienced them, and they're all over the place. The question is, are we aware of them? In other words, are we awake enough to notice them? Because they are very, very important in our lives. They're showing us the way as to what's coming toward us. And it gives us a snapshot, really a snapshot of the future. If we figure out how to use them, how to notice them, and how to work with signs. We've all experienced synchronicities in our life, like I'd mentioned. We call them coincidences. Perhaps we're thinking maybe about a friend when the phone rings, and sure enough, it's our friend. Maybe we're behind a UPS truck in traffic as we pass a billboard for UPS. When we arrive home, there's a surprise UPS package waiting for us, and we think, wow, what a coincidence. And that's a good example of how signs work. They're everywhere, and they are there for us. We call them the fabric. In a way, they're part of the fabric. And even Carl Jung, the famous psychiatrist, he spent years and years of his life attempting to figure out and define what a synchronicity actually is. He thought they were coincidences that are unusually different and certainly meaningful to the extent that they could not be attributed to chance. Carl Jung mentions many meaningful coincidences during his years of therapy. And he defined them as acausal events. In other words, they don't cause each other, they're separate. And he believed, Jung did anyway, that they were not connected. And I'm going to come back to this in a minute because Nick and I see it a little differently in terms of whether they're connected or not.
We do?
Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And we're going to connect them through the thread of quantum physics, quantum mechanics.
I didn't think we saw anything differently. Wow. Okay. Oh, hey guys, today's our 29th wedding anniversary. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And this brings us to one of the biggest signs of all. On our second date, Michael was walking me back to my car, and my license plate, the letters on my plate were KRW. Those are the initials of his first wife. Yes, he did not point out this synchronicity to me, but as we were walking back to the car, he certainly noticed the letters. And what did that signify to you, Michael?
It jumped out, and that's the deal with signs. They're all over the place. I mean, everywhere. They're part of the fabric or the blanket of life. And it jumped out to me, though. And inwardly, my gut feeling was that my life was getting ready to take a significant turn, a 180-degree turn. And I realized that since I was with Nicole and we had just started dating, that this was going to be a significant relationship. I knew it. I didn't know how or why or where it was going to go, but I knew from that sign and the gut feeling that it was going to be a significant relationship and we were going to end up getting married.
And certainly, here we are 29 years later. Holy moly.
It's our anniversary today. Yay, 29 years.
All right. So anyway, back to it. Quiet Place Day 1. We went to see it Friday on its release. And, we're fans, certainly, of the franchise. And the beginning of the movie, there was a huge omen, a huge sign that portends to the entire rest of the movie. We didn't even recognize it, notice it, until the middle of the movie. This is how covert this omen or sign was. Little spoiler alert. Michael and I talked about, should we tell you the omen? Should we sit on it, tell you later? But we'll say this. We try to use this forum as a teaching tool, so you guys know how to identify signs, read the fabric, read vibrations, use these things so you don't get blindsided, so you can avoid adversity. So the sign in Quiet Place, Michael?
The sign in Quiet Place. Go ahead, you give it to him, Nick.
All right. He's on stage and there's a marionette show. The marionette show. And actually, I think we're going to leave it there. I'm not going to talk about it too much. Maybe we'll talk about it after some of you have seen the movie. But the marionette show portends to the whole rest of the movie in such a fabulous way. They really did a good job putting that together. And I don't even know if it was intended or not. I would assume it was intended. And we're going to try to have them on the show at some point. So we'll be able to talk to them about this. The director, the writer, the actors. It'll be fun.
And we'll circle back and give you some insight on the sign at the front end that really gives the movie away in terms of, gives you context of where it's headed and how it's going to end up. And it's a good way to use signs, because that's what really they are intended for. And if we pay attention, we will see, like me seeing the license plate with my previous wife's initials on it. It was really showing me a snapshot of where my life was going to go suddenly. And those things are there for us every day.
Yeah. They reveal the future, actually. Signs, intuition, dreams, these things reveal the future. They also give you a snapshot when things aren't going well, so you can sidestep adversity and make a course correction. We kind of see it like your personal GPS. Absolutely. And remember, everyone dreams every night, even if you don't remember your dreams. Everyone has witnessed a coincidence, and everyone has had a gut feeling. So, even though, we combine spirituality and science with all of this, it applies to everyone, whether one way or the other. Anyhow, let's get back to it. So we talked about a little quantum there and one place. I want to give you a different story so you can even test it. Let's say you think this is all just silliness, craziness, whatever. You can set it up and test it yourself. Let me give you a few stories. Good friend of mine long ago, she was wondering, are signs real or is this all some bullshit? And so she set up a sign before we went out to lunch. I want to see 3 doves while we're out to lunch. This is in Austin, Texas, about, 25 years ago. And a little longer than that. Sure enough, we go to lunch. We're driving down the street, subdivision. There's 3 white doves in the middle of the street. They prevented the car. We even had to stop the car. We couldn't move. They didn't move, so we had to stop the car. And she looked at me, stunned. I was even stunned, and this is what I do, professionally, and have been studying these things forever. So I was even stunned in the moment. But it was so cool. And I'm going to back up and let you know how does this occur? Like, is it magic? Is it bullshit? What's going on here? Soul, which is the essence of what we are, does not operate on a timeline. Soul has access to all information 24/7, past, present, future. So actually, soul, or your higher self, notifies your psyche what sign to choose ahead of time in order to make the right choice or to get the proper answer. That's how it works. Let me give you another story. A client came to we did a workshop a while ago, this specific workshop. We do workshops. trust yourself workshops. That's what they're called. Anyhow, public workshops. So we came to a workshop. This is in Phoenix. In Phoenix, when we lived in Phoenix, and he attended, and he thought, I don't know about this. This sounds crazy. And we once again challenged him, invited him to challenge an experiment. Let me put it that way. So on the way home, he sets up the sign before the end of the workshop. I want to see, some upside down balloons on my way home from this workshop. Before he arrived at home, he calls us, so excited I can't even tell you, with disbelief, mind you. He had just driven past a tree that had 16 deflated upside down balloons hanging from the limbs. Like someone must have had a party, the balloons deflated, so they were all hanging down from the tree. Hence the upside down balloons. Once again, soul knows ahead of time what it's going to run into.
Yeah, and that reminds me of a story since we're talking about Austin, Texas. When we were there, I was managing a call center, maybe 100, 120 people on the phones, on their laptop computers, doing their job. And I was at my desk, and the CEO called me, and I had forgotten a week or two before. He said, Mike, I got an important decision to make. All the chips are on the table with the company. Should I go forward, or should I put it on hold for a minute? And it was an important decision because all the money was on the table. And he said, what would you recommend, go forward or put it on hold? And so he called me and he said, what have you decided? What should I go forward or not? And I said, let me call you back in about 10 minutes. I'm real busy. And he said, okay, but call me for sure in 10. So I thought, oh my God, what am I going to advise him? And so as I stood up and started walking down the aisle in the call center with everybody, all the agents on their phones, I set up a quick sign. I said, if the CEO is supposed to go forward, I want to see an upside down elephant. Well, the odds of seeing an upside down elephant in a call center are probably a gazillion to 1. As I got to the end of the aisle, I had just set up the sign or synchronicity in my mind. There was an agent on the phone, and she had gotten it looked like a new little teddy bear of some sort sitting on her desk. I was too far to see specifically what it was. As I got closer, she realized I was walking in back of her. And in order to show it to me more closely, what exactly it was, she held it over her back, over her head, because she was on the phone looking at her computer. And it was a baby elephant. And when she held it over her back, it was upside down. And there was my upside down elephant. I got the answer to my sign, went back and called the CEO and said, move forward. And I did not tell him how I had reached that particular decision. He thought I went through all the data and made the decision that way. He would not want to know about the sign.
Yeah. Sounds crazy, right? Now, when you're setting up signs, because you can actually program a sign, is my spouse cheating? I want to see, a purple turtle by 5:00 tonight. You can actually be that specific in setting up a sign. Now, you don't bet the farm on a sign. You don't bet the farm on a dream. In other words, you don't get an answer and then run down the road, with your choice. You're gathering your data. Okay. And at the front end, it's certainly experimenting, because you have to there's a fine art to this thing. Okay. We're just giving you some overview. There is a fine art, but the beginning comes with experimenting, just gathering your data, noticing the results that you attain, and kind of playing with it that way. Additionally, we use all three together. We confirm our data with a dream, with a sign, with an intuitive hunch. So it's not just based on one, though you certainly ultimately can and will base things on one response, but it's really a trio of methodology. And here's a few points. You have to be sincere in your asking, okay? No like goofing around like, well, I want to see an apple and then go to the grocery store. I mean, you have to have a pure heart, okay? A sincere heart. So just keep that in mind. Also keep in mind the experimental process. and that you don't, make life or death choices at the front end with this stuff. You're just experimenting, okay? The fine art, it's a fine art. And we'll get into this as we go down, as we get into further podcasts and whatnot, But anyway, we're just trying to open you to this possibility of this new realm of data that's already there. As Michael mentioned, some quantum. Everything's connected. It's based on your atoms, your subatomic structure, the atoms in the universe, and everything bouncing off of one another, truly, at an energetic level. I want to mention one other thing that's really vital with this whole thing is simply, how do you know there's a message for you? Because these things are on autopilot, okay? You can set up a sign, absolutely. But more importantly, they're on autopilot. And as you become proficient, you won't need to set up a sign because you'll be reading the signs as they occur throughout your day, okay? We're talking about a higher level, which happens naturally over time. But let me just give you a hint. Here's the hint. Here's the tip. There's a message only if one of two things occurs. If you notice a coincidence, there is a message there for you. And or if an event occurs that is so bizarre that it catches your attention, there is a message for you. Everything else, forget about it. Oh, my shoe's untied. What does that mean? No, 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 no. This is real practical, down to earth, common sense stuff. Again, if there's a coincidence and you notice it, there's a message. If something's totally bizarre, there's a message. I'm going to give you a real quickie, and then Michael wants to say something. A good friend of ours, when we lived in Phoenix, she called us. When she woke up, the palm tree was laying down in the front yard. It was laying on the ground, one of her palm trees. She said, "Oh, what do you think about this?" Because it was something totally bizarre, right? There you go. That's the key. I said, "It sounds like something in your life's about to be uprooted. We don't know what. You just sit and watch." And that doesn't mean a bad thing either. It's just something you're observing. So you have a heads up on things. Sure enough, over that month, her husband got a promotion and they moved across the country. Most fabulous thing ever. So she was given a snapshot ahead of time we call it reading the fabric, which is a much higher level. If you even get into our things, if you ever attend our workshops or continue with the podcast or use the books, we're going to come out with a course at some point. If you join the mystery school, the modern day mystery school, Divine Guidance Institute, these are the finer things, the art of this that you'll learn. But even just listening to us and working with this on your own, you'll start to get used to these things. And it's pretty cool. And it's really a lot of fun as well, because you're reading the fabric, much higher level than anything anyone's ever been accustomed to.
And this is, that's a great point, because it's really how Holy Spirit, how God speaks to us. And if you're a non-believer, it's how the universe speaks to you. And we all go through that: signs, synchronicities, omens. We have dreams, intuition, gut feelings. This is the secret side of communication. You really want an answer, the true answer, the best road for you, and you want it quickly, fast, and it's the truth. Dream, signs, intuition. Grab those synchronicities, work with them, and suddenly a door will open and you'll really step into a much, much higher level of understanding the way things work. And you'll see your true path laid out before you. And like Nic said, you'll be reading, it's called reading the fabric, reading the blanket of electromagnetic fields. And it's easiest to understand, if I had to give you a little context, because people ask me, where do they come from? Where do synchronicities come from? We are the synchronicity. We are the sign. In other words, well, how can that be? I mean, it's coming from the universe. It's coming from outside. Not really. Everything is a hologram. Everything is connected. Everything is one. Never, ever see it as separate. It is not separate. And quantum physics proved that maybe 70, 75 years ago. a fellow by the name of physicist, world-class physicist by the name of John Bell. He literally proved that everything was connected. And it was stunning at the time because most physicists could not even begin to comprehend that everything is a hologram. It's all connected. So the way it really works, the mechanics, since we are the sign, when we have a thought, a desire, um, anything that's going on within us, we're thinking about something specifically, we have a feeling for something, it automatically, because it's all connected, it's all a hologram, our electromagnetic field puts that feeling or that thought out there into the ethers, out there into the energy fields, out there into the universe. And guess what happens? It's like attracts like. There's a universal law called the law of attraction. You've heard about that, and they've written about it, and they have videos and movies, the law of attraction. Well, it's accurate in the sense that whatever we put out, we attract that back to ourselves. So there's where the signs come from. They are showing us because we're having like, oh, I wish I knew whether to advise my CEO whether to go forward or put it on hold, like I got a call from. Well, guess what? The upside down elephant came right back to me because it was coming to me because I had put that thought out there, and the whole universe is connected. And really, that's how it works. It's really that simple. Everything is interactive, and we are the sign. And if you think about that for a moment, it gives you an insight to how much true wisdom and power that we actually have. We just need to begin to realize it. That's it. We need to begin to realize it and look around, wake up, and see how everything is connected.
Nice, nice, nice. Hey, that was really good stuff, Mike. Hey, so here we're gonna wrap it up pretty soon, but we want to share with you a badass story from Mancow. You know, Michael and I, we've done a lot of television, a lot of radio over the years, hundreds and hundreds of shows. And we were on the Mancow Show. He's a DJ, radio host, personality, DJ long ago, had his own show forever. Currently has his own podcast entitled The Mancow Podcast. He's out of Chicago. Anyway, great guy, but this is a funny, really cool story. So we were on his show, oh my gosh, I don't know, 13 years ago. It was a while. Anyhow, so here's what's up. It might have been 10 years, but anyway. Mm-hmm. We go on the show, and he is doubtful. Not too pleased with the subject matter. We had a little fun. He says to me, you know, come on now, da-da-da-da-da. So I say, hey, why don't you set up a sign to see if this is all legit? He goes, well, what sign? Well, I'm a car freak, car lover. So I said, why don't you pick a Viper? You got to see a Viper. He goes, the snake or the car? I said, well, it's up to you. I said, but you know, it doesn't even matter. If you say Viper, it could come in the form of either, unless you're specific. You can be vague. You can call it out however you want. You know, by the end of the day type thing, you got to see the Viper. He's like, well, blah, 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 blah. Then click. He actually hangs up on us, okay? He hangs up on us, dead air. We're like, what the hell's going on? Well, he was not digging the topic, so he cut us off. He actually cut us off the air, hung up on us. We're like, what the hell? So anyway, we've done so much media, it didn't really faze us. I mean, you know, it wasn't too cool, but whatever. So a few weeks later, maybe just a week later, we start getting phone calls on our house phone and our cell phones, both of us, from the producer from his show. I mean, they must have called, I don't know, 20 times, emails as well. Please get back with us. Please, please, please. So we give him a call, the producer, and she says, he experienced something major. He needs to talk to you on the show. He wants to say he's sorry. Da 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 da. Can you please come on the show? Well, Michael went on the show. I did not go on the show. I was busy. And so Michael went on. We actually have a recording of the show. Anyhow, simply put, and this is Mancow's words, he says, I don't like to apologize, and I never say I'm sorry, and I'm about to eat crow. Yep, I'm about to eat crow. Sir, as he was talking to Michael, sir, I owe you an apology. I really do. He says, where's your wife? He says, well, she's not here. She wants to bust a cap in your ass, blah, blah, blah. They're joking around. So she didn't come on the show. So, okay. He says, I got to tell you, I don't know how you guys did it. When I got home that day, I got a package in the mail from Slash, the guitarist, Slash and I just put together a pinball machine called Viper. We just were putting on the finishing touches. So Slash sends me a package in the mail I open it and all these Viper stickers fall out of this envelope. And there must have been at least 100 Viper stickers and pictures of the pinball machine, Viper, pictures of his car, a Viper. So many Vipers, snakes and cars, Viper. He said, it really freaked me out. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. So my hat's off to you. I got to apologize. I don't know how the hell you did what you did. There's obviously something to this. So, and I don't really know, but anyway, I just had to tell you, the apology. And so
it's really an interesting story. And Nic recounted that really well, and it proves the point. And I just want to mention that whether you're a believer or a non-believer, these things occur 24/7. It's a form of higher communication that you can tap into. And Mancow got exposed to it, and he was a complete skeptic, non-believer, to the extent of pulling the plug on the radio show right in the middle of it. It was like, oh my God. And there it is. The omen got him anyway. And now he's a believer to some extent. It's like, I don't know how this occurred, but I've never seen anything like it. And, for you in your life, you can certainly use this form of communication to step into a new level of awareness and open a door to a new way of understanding and seeing things, and most importantly, getting the answers and the direction that you're looking for. Use the signs and the synchronicities.
Nice. Hey, so you know what, guys? We're going to sign off here for now, but I want to say, just kind of gently notice things around you. Again, only if it's a coincidence or if it's something so bizarre it catches your attention. Then you can kind of ponder, what's the message? There's the key phrase for you. What's the message? You remain neutral, unemotional, and unattached. That's a key to maintaining good stability. Don't forget to use one magic word with everything you do, and we'll give you a demo in case you don't know what that is. One magic word, and it's the hue, H-U, hue, and it goes like this. You inhale, hue. On the exhale, you can do it silently as well. You can do it while you're in the company of others. No one will ever know. It works once again. Let me give you a little snapshot. Anxiety, stress, insomnia, depression, even suicide. Michael combated his Vietnam PTSD just using one magic word. No meds, no therapy. So you use one magic word every day to heighten your awareness, so you have a cool, calm demeanor, and then just notice things around you. You can experiment. You can put it to the test. And hey, don't forget, if you want to get a hold of us, you want to donate to the 501c3, maybe you want to pick up one of our books so you can do it yourself. For now, just go to the website, nevergetblindsidedagain.com, nevergetblindsidedagain.com. Everything is there. And you can email us as well. You can sign up for the free newsletter that we have. The course, actually, it's a course. It's a free mini course on dreams. Actually, one magic word in dreams. It's a badass newsletter mini course. So go to the website, sign up for that, and yeah, have a great week, Michael.
Yeah,
You got anything?
it's been fun. And remember, you are the sign. So you can't go wrong. Go ahead and use it. And like Nic said, use that hue because it's the ignition. It's the key that turns the system on and amps up the volume on signs, synchronicities, omens. So, hey, have a really good day, okay?
All right. Bye, everybody.